Hello and welcome to Seder Soul Sailing. So this is a I, w- I was pretty upset when the U.S. attacked Iran for a number of reasons, um, not the least of which is what's happening to the people in Iran. But the people of Iran have, there's a lot of people that have been suffering in Iran for a long time. I think I saw somewhere that like 60% of Iranian people are Christian, I'm not sure I believe that. I'd have to look it up. But when Christianity is punishable by death, that's that's kind of that's dedication. But and I mean, there are no good guys here. Just there are no good guys anywhere in the world. I think whether we're ruled by the Epstein class as we are in the West, like all of Europe is ruled by the Epstein class, the whole United States and Canada and probably Latin America is ruled by the Epstein class. In in it's I think there's a lot of Epstein class stuff going on in countries like Guatemala. Um, they didn't mention that in that film, The Sound of Freedom, which is a pretty good film. I will say it's a very well done film, and it's an important subject. But they didn't address two important factors in this film. It's about child trafficking in Guatemala, and um, and it's a serious problem. But what they didn't touch the role of the church, and they didn't touch the role of government, and I think that's where most of your Epstein class pedophiles are located, is in organized religion and government. So, but anyway, um, the one of the reasons I was really upset was because Trump had actually been flirting with some workable ideas for maybe salvaging the U.S. economy. It was, but I think he's lost the goodwill to get that done by now. There's no way. Um, there's, he's basically, in fact, he's lost the goodwill to get much of anything done. First, there's he a lot of the people have voted for him because he was gonna be the first president, I don't know how many years, that wasn't gonna go fight foreign wars. I will say I don't think Jimmy Carter fought any wars. So we had a discussion about this one day in our one of the comments section about Jimmy Carter. He wasn't the great guy he was painted to be, but I think he might have been the last president that didn't attack any other countries, and the last president that didn't do that. So that's so yeah, it's not like Trump's different, but here's the problem. Trump promised to be different. That was a campaign promise. He said he was going to, make America great again, America first, right? And unfortunately, when the push come to shove it, everything was Israel first. Israel first. Netanyahu told him to attack Iran. He attacked Iran, and it's not going to end well for him. I mean, I think about half of MAGA supports this. The other half is pissed off because they got lied to. They weren't too happy about the whole Pam Bondi. We can't process the sexual predators, the pedophiles in our power structure because the whole world will fall apart without the pedophiles. It's like if it's the pedophiles who are holding the world together, yeah, let it fall apart. You know what I mean? Um, so he I don't know. I think the numbers were his. I think his core base had been cut in half by all this, by the war and by the bullshit about not going after the Epstein files because my good buddies will be hurt by this or whatever he said. My friends will be hurt by this. Well, what kind of friends do you got, dude? Um, it's yeah. So it's and overnight the price of oil was up to like $117, $118 a barrel. That was from like $60 a barrel a week and a half ago, you know? That's almost 100% increase in the price of oil. So, and people are saying, why, we don't get our oil from Saudi Arabia anyway, so why is it going up? It's because the market's going up. The price of oil goes up. When people can sell oil for $120 a barrel in France and Germany, they think they're going to sell it in the U.S. for 60. I mean, would you, if you were a business person? It's like, well, I can sell this if you're a car dealer. I can sell this car in this state for you know, $35,000, but I can only get $5,000 for it in this state. What are you going to do? You know, you're going to take it to where you can make the most money. It's business. I mean, um, and the oil producers, they're not the greatest guys in the world. Trust me, I've worked in the oil industry. I'm very familiar with the shadiness of the entire energy industry. But they've they are business people, and if you can sell a tanker full of oil for $120 in Europe, why would you sell it for 60 in the U.S.? You know what I mean? It's that's not even greed. That's just business. I mean, the people that are saying they're greedy, it's like, look at the Mexico used to have a socialized, which I actually liked when they had a socialized oil industry, 'cause gas was cheap in Mexico. It isn't cheap there anymore. Um, but I like cheap gas. I like cheap diesel. But I understand why, even though I don't like these companies and I know that they're pretty corrupt and all that, I understand why they aren't selling oil for $60 a barrel in the U.S. when they get 120 for it in Europe. Um, it's, do the math, dude. Uh, the But anyway, this is going to be bad for the entire world. It's going to be just devastating. They're calling it oil shock, which was a term they used back in the 70s before we worked out the petrodollar deal with OPEC, like in 72, 73, when the price of gas just shot way up. And the and the thing is, oil shocks can hit the world at a time when the financial structure is so fragile that it's not going to withstand a huge, big price increase. It's like, seriously, if people are paying, $10 a gallon for diesel or gas in the U.S., it's going to be pretty hard for Trump to say he's a huge success as a president. It's not going to end well. This is going to piss. If people aren't pissed already because they voted for the president who's going to release the Epstein files and who is going to not start foreign wars, then he doesn't release the Epstein files until they're like pried out his fingers, and then we get like partial releases that are redacted, like all his friends' buddies that have magic marker over them. Are all his buddies and friends and family. And then he goes and starts an insane war that's going to completely devastate the economy of the United States by making gas prices double and triple if this thing drags out. It's not going to end well for him. So what I want to ask the cards about today is, do they Trump's they said like 30 different things. At first, it was going to be regime change, and we won't leave till it's done. Uh, no regime left behind, or whatever. And then, well, then they kill the guy, and so they get like his son put in power, who's even more of a hardliner than he was, and and all they did was make the regime that was in charge worse, which is kind of what happens when other countries screw around with and try to do rearrange governments in other countries. It never ends well. I mean, when does it end well? Look at Gaddafi. They got rid of Gaddafi, who had the highest educational standard and standard of living in all of Africa, and they literally went in and shoved a knife up his butt. And then within no time they had slave trading on the streets of Tripoli, in the streets of the cities. It was like not a huge improvement. So and everybody was talking about how terrible Obama was to do all that. Well, don't do that. They all seem to work for the plan of Greater Israel. What do they call it? The Pax Judea, or whatever it is, the Greater Israel products of Judaica. And one of these days I'm going to do a reading about that too, because I'm actually very, very concerned about the fate about all the wonderful, terrific Jewish people that I love dearly. If there's a huge backlash, I think that I think it might get ugly, and I'm actually concerned about that. I'll talk about that in another reading. But now, for now, let's see what's going to happen. Is this going to turn out so badly that, if this thing drags on? Trump's talking about sending troops in now. They're preparing. There's a lot of people in the military that are being told to prepare to go to war in Iran, and that this is not a drill. And apparently they don't have any bases. The Iranians have leveled all our naval bases and stuff around the Gulf. So apparently they're going to drop troops in by parachute, and if anybody, if any, I don't know how many people are still alive who were invaded in Normandy, but that was a pretty tough gig going in by parachute to Normandy. I mean, that was a slaughter, and I think what's his name, Hegseth, has told the troops to prepare to go to war, and Trump said that that he's prepared to send in troops. We could have a real quagmire. We could have a war that drags out as long as the Iraq or the Afghan wars. I mean, 5, 10, 20 years. And this is not going to be yeah, I agree. This isn't going to, yeah, I agree. This is not going to end well, and Trump is kind of leading us to hell. I will give you that. He's trying to anyway. But I don't know that Trump's leading us anywhere. I think Trump's being led around by the nose by Netanyahu. It isn't. I mean, Trump is just being a puppet. Really, who's leading us to war is the Epstein class. It's the Epstein class leading us to war. But yeah, it is. It could be sheer hell. And I mean, really, the only way out right now is for him to just like back off and say, okay, they got a new Ayatollah, mission accomplished, and just see you later. Too late to back out. Yeah, I think it probably is, and I don't think he's the kind of guy. I think he's maybe got a little bit of an ego problem. Let's put it that way. And as far as the Israelis go, they don't really. They don't. This Zionist. It's not Jewish people. It's Zionists, and the Greater Israel Project is this Project Zion, and it's they don't care how many people Netanyahu. If Netanyahu could get what he wants and stay in power, he would probably throw. He would probably let every single Israeli Jewish person in Israeli get killed if he came out ahead. I mean, that's the how the Epstein class rolls. You know, they're. If you ever seen the movie Eyes Wide Shut, the truth of the true thing is, I mean, just think of Eyes Wide Shut, except that they actually sacrifice humans and its children and not adult prostitutes. You know, and then you probably got an idea what a you know the version of P Diddy's freak offs were at the Rothschild crib. Um, the and you know they're all part of that club. You know, that's the big club. The Epstein class is the big club, and they are. You know, George Carlin warned us about them, but he didn't talk about how utterly and evil and demonic and satanic they are. I mean, uh, we're basically being led by demon worshiping Satanists who are murderers and cannibals and pedophiles. You know, it's the Epstein class. That's what the Epstein class is. The Epstein class isn't just corruption in high places. I mean, this is specifically people who molest and torture and probably kill and even eat children in spirit cooking rituals. You know, I mean, these are evil people, evil creatures, and you know, you don't hang around with that group of people if you're not. You, if you know what's going on and you haven't tried to do something about it, you are guilty by association. Lord of the Ring movie in the real world. Yeah, yeah, it is. Um, so anyway, it's so is I mean, I guess I got a two-part question for the cards today. Is Trump did Trump achieve regime change in the United States? Is that what the outcome of this? Yeah, boots on the ground. Prepare for this. $2 billion a day. Sky high food, gas. $2 billion a day, and that doesn't even count the money we're giving to Israel for this shit. You know, I mean, this is this is astronomical. The amount of money this is going to cost us, and it's going to hurt us all. It's going to come out of people's social security checks, and it's going to just it's. I mean, this could destroy the United States. This could destroy and it will. This is going to destroy the EU. The EU is already on the way out, though. I mean, we did a bunch of readings about that earlier. If you want to go back and watch them, you can find them on our live in our live feeds. But the but you know, Trump could have salvaged the U.S. He could have salvaged the U.S. if he didn't have BB Schwanz in his mouth, you know. He if he and the only I mean, if either Trump is part of that Epstein class, or else he's being blackmailed because of that, or somebody close to him is being blackmailed because of that. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter, because he didn't do the right thing. He he made a choice. He made a choice to do what the Epstein class told him to do, and and it's hard to see any good outcome for anybody in this. I don't see a good outcome for Iran. You know, the one group that might come out ahead of this is the Epstein class. I mean, they don't care. They if every Arab, every Persian, every Muslim in the Middle East is killed, that just opens up the more property for them to take when they create greater Israel. And you know, they don't have a problem with taking out the United States either. They'll use it for its resources, deplete it, and then just spit out the carcass. Because after all this is over, the United States would be a competitor to greater Israel. So they don't want that. They don't care if the EU gets thrown under the bus. China's in rough shape too. China is not, you know, I mean, possibly we're looking at a world where the hegemons, you know, the superpowers are Russia and Israel, which is not, it's not how I would like things to be shaking out. Really, I mean, uh, you know, Russia's probably going to focus on getting Odessa, and then they'll just like they don't care. I mean, they'll just throw wave after wave after wave of Europeans to be slaughtered in that meat grinder, and then when it's all over, Russia will probably just control much of Europe. You probably see something like Germany will, you know, see which side its bread is buttered on and try to make friends with Russia and say, "Oh, well, can we be your little butt buddy?" You know, uh, um, you know, in France. I mean, yeah, in the UK, good lord, yeah, you know, this whole Soros class, this Epstein class. I mean, George Soros is a good representative of a high level, high ranking official in the Epstein class. I'm sitting at my studio now. I was talking to Victoria for a long time, and we were having a beautiful conversation. And she was up, she was awake, and she stayed, usually she stayed awake a little bit longer. So I talked to her as much as I love being with you guys. Hey, if you like this, where is my water? Oh, maybe. It's hot here today. I've been swimming and working out a lot. And I been drinking a lot of water. Uh, the So anyway, you're sticking around. If you could give this a like, I guess that actually helps with the shadow banning is to get the likes. So that's pretty helpful. And if you like the stuff we're doing on here, if you like these readings, or stick around for the reading, I think this one's going to be interesting. And yeah, you know, subscribe and share. So because we, you know, let's see if we can get people to see some of this, because this is my first mate. I spend a lot of time brushing her. That's her favorite thing. Where am I going to get the best sun? I'm not going to get great sun anywhere, but it'll do. We've been through this once or twice. I'm starting to get a kind of a good idea where it's going to be. Let's see what the cards have to say about this. Is this? I mean, are we going to see utter collapse of the United States as we know it? I mean, was that coming anyway? A lot of people are arguing, making a good point that that they're comparing that historically empires always act irrationally and do crazy, stupid shit and start wars when they're falling apart. Living on a boat, my dream. Yeah, I like living on a boat too. Love living on a boat. But you know what? I'll gladly live in a house in land with a lawn if I can live with the love of my life. And so, you know, you got to do what you got to do, I guess. So, is Trump going to achieve regime change in Iran, which seems pretty freaking unlikely at this point? So I think you can almost write that one off. Good luck to. Yeah, holy shit! It's going to be Here's the thing. This is not going into Venezuela. You know, I mean, Venezuela is a small, chaotic country without a. I mean, when was the last time Venezuela fought a war? You know, Iran's been fighting, you know, 45 years, 50 years. I mean, they've got some. My first mate just came to say hi. They've got some, you know, they've got battle-hardened troops. They've got and a lot of the people really believe in what they're fighting for. I mean, there's a lot of people that really want to get rid of the theocratic uh, dictatorship they have. But there's a lot, there's a lot of people that support it. I'd say that the dead Ayatollah has a lot more support right now than the live president of the United States does for this war. And they've 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 had missiles coming at them since 35 years, 45 years. It's they know what they're getting into, and they prepared. It's going to be, and we Trump fired 12,000 people who were who identified as non-binary. I don't know if they'd had sex change operations or whatever out of the military, and we don't have that many people in the military, but yeah, I mean, I gotta say, I'm not sure I want people that voluntarily mutilate themselves to be defending the United States. It's just maybe they should get counseling. But so that's the state of our military right now, and we're gonna send them into a damn meat grinder. It's not. I mean, I'm sure we've got good special ops troops and stuff like that, but you don't win a war against a country the size of Iran with the military strength that Iran has, with a few special ops groups going in and doing clandestine. Um, the what's the name? Inglorious Bastards. Love that film. I love Quentin Tarantino's films. That one was one of my favorites actually. And I mean they burned Hitler up, so things worked out so that happened. But that only happens in the movies. I don't know that special ops have ever really. I guess it worked against some coked out goddamn president in Venezuela for what? It was. This is not the same. This is not going to be the same. So, is this going to lead to regime change in the U.S. and is it going to destroy the economy in the U.S.? And there's our signifier. So, yeah, we're all carrying a heavy load into this mess, no doubt about it, and we might have a little trouble. The wind's changed direction here and might blow my cards off the table. If they go in the water, I'm going in after them. So if you see me jump in the ocean, it's hard to get cards here. I probably get back to Florida on my way to Norway, and then I'll maybe pick up a new deck. But I like this deck a lot. Anyway, so but this is we've got a lot of work ahead of us. I mean, this is hard. We've got a very hard thing we're going through, and but we can get through it. We're close to the end. So whatever's going to happen is probably going to happen fairly soon. I mean, I've seen some predictions that people are interpreting both Nostradamus and Edgar Casey saying that Trump won't survive 2026. I think that might be altogether possible. And I don't know how much of an improvement J.D. Vance will be because he's not. But it's a damn shame because he could have done some good things. He was doing a few good things. He was doing a lot of dumb shit too. But he did the dumbest of the dumb shit because he was the Epstein class directed him to, and I think so. Here's the overall situation, and that is feminine magic, the high priestess. But feminine magic is different than masculine magic. We're like dogs. You know what a dog's doing. When a dog's going to attack, a dog's going to attack. Feminine magic's more like a cat. It could be just like, you think it'll bite you in the ass, but it's important too. It's also very it's important, but you have to learn to work with it. You know what I mean? You have to understand that there is a difference between people with X and XY chromosomes, uh, even if they identify as the other or whatever, because we're wired different. You know, women use their brains different. They use both sides of their brains at once. We use one and then the other. And what that does is it allows us to focus on detail. Like we can put together a model car and not be bored or whatever. We can play a video game for like 2 years, but women are a lot more complex than us. Just like cats are a lot more complex than dogs, and I love them both. And I'm I'm pretty grateful for the XX chromosome people because I'd be pretty lonely without them. But we have to that energy is it's important, it's useful, it's probably the most powerful thing on earth. But if you approach it thinking like a male, thinking with a male brain, you're not never going to effectively work with it. And here's the gateway, and the gateway is it's secure. It's like security on Earth. So what we have to do is, I think what that's saying is it's going to be up to us to kind of salvage the country. It doesn't matter if it's the United States or Canada or Mexico or Norway or France or the UK or even maybe Iran, maybe even Israel or Palestine. You know, if they haven't if they haven't completely committed genocide on all the Palestinians by now, who knows what they're doing during this war? Because they blocked all. There was so much damage from the missiles hitting Tel Aviv that they're um, they're sending images out of Israel now is punishable by 5 years in prison. So here's the gate, the root, and that is a hard decision made when we didn't know enough. It's like if you voted last year, you know, totally understandable to vote for the candidate who said that he wasn't going to fight any foreign wars and said that he was going to release the Epstein files without scratching out all his buddies' names with a Sharpie. Um, but but and here is the current situation, the present moment, and that is the initiation of action, of passionate action. And this is the psychological future, and that's the mature application of masculine, uh, fierce masculine energy. I like to think of this as the scene from Game of Thrones where Stark cut off the guy's head, the deserter from the wall. Um, and here is the future, and that's domestic security, domestic happiness and security. So it looks like we're going to be moving into a different place fairly soon, and our fears is yeah, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Like and subscribe and share if you could. This is the the fears, and that's waking up from a nightmare. I guess we're afraid we'll never will wake up from a nightmare, Maybe that's what that's saying there. We'll see what the modifying cards. And yesterday the final outcome was the devil. And today the astrological energies of the devil. So there's energy to tempt us to to continue just being addicted to whatever archon we have abdicated our personal sovereignty to. And here is our desires. We want this battle to be over, but we still got one last push to go to make it happen. But here's the final outcome. And this is the Eight of Wands, and this is love. This is, I think what this is saying is, I'm gonna, before I forget, I think this reading so far is saying that that things are going to change very quickly. And I don't know that things are going to be so great on the national front, but I think if we work on ourselves, our communities, our home life, and the people we love, it could turn out really well for us, for the humans, for the people who aren't part of the Epstein class. The Epstein class is going to try to tempt us with all kinds of stuff, you know. But so this modifies our fears, and our fear is not waking up from a nightmare, and that's saying that we got the security that we need if we just hang on to it, if we just exercise if we own our personal sovereignty and don't abdicate it to the Epstein class. And this modifies the devil. And this is let's see, which this is that is sort of a spiritual wealth. It's like happiness. We can get a contentment and peace. So I think we have to really be careful to not give in to temptation here. And this is modifying the desires, which is to be done with this battle. And these are Rider-Waite cards. I use Rider-Waite. I love there's tons of decks I love. I got friends that make decks. I love them, but what I found was I'm always interpreting things in Rider-Waite was like my Tarot language, my native language. So I can give readings with any deck, and I love a lot of the decks. I love the artwork. I love the creativity. But the reality is that I thought, dance with the one who brung me. So I'm going to stick with the Rider-Waite. But what this is saying is that we're almost out of this battle. We're almost moving to a better place. We just, we can't see it yet. But we're just about there, that's exactly what the signifier is saying, the Ten of Wands. We still are carrying a heavy load. We got a tremendous burden on our shoulders right now, but we're moving into a calmer place, a place of love, really. And this is the modifying the final outcome with love, and this is passion. I'm a passionate guy. I had one addiction in my life. I was addicted to relationships, even bad ones. I just wasn't comfortable being alone. And it wasn't until I went out on the boat and lived at anchor for a few years by myself, that I became comfortable not having relationships defining me. Shuffle cards and read them again. Tomorrow. I'll do, catch me tomorrow and we'll have another reading for you. I shuffle them at the beginning of the reading. You can go back to the beginning. You can scroll back to the beginning and watch me shuffle and read the whole reading. But what I've I think, this is kind of a derogatory term, but I see it in a lot of males. I mean, I'm talking about males, probably females too. I mean, but I can relate to this in males is the term soy cuck. I've always thought that I can't get. It's really hard for me to get off the shelf clothing that fits me because I'm not terribly fat, but I have pretty wide shoulders and shit. And if I go to buy a sport jacket or something, I put it on, I can rip the shoulders right off. And if I get one that's big enough for my shoulders, it's like a goddamn tent. It's like I'm wearing a freaking circus tent. And I've noticed this. So I had to buy a lot of my clothes when I lived on land, it's like 7 years ago, I guess now. I had to buy a lot of my clothes in used clothing stores because the new clothes, I'd go into a store and I just couldn't find anything that would fit my arms and shoulders unless it was just like XXXL shit, that I could hide a I could hide a Toyota Yaris under my sport jacket. I mean, I used to wear sport jackets a lot when I worked because I had a carry permit. I used to carry a Glock 26 pretty much everywhere, all the time, 100% of the time. So a sport jacket was a really nice way to conceal it. Um, so my boss is watching this. That's why I always wore a sport jacket at work. You know, I was like, not that I carried a gun at work because that was against the rules, and I could get fired for that. You know, I haven't worked there for like 8 or 9 years, but anyway, I digress. Uh, Drug addiction and the devil tempt all. Yeah, I've never really, I guess I've had addictions to cigars off and on in my life. That nicotine's a bitch, but never so much that I couldn't quit. Did I carry at sea? No, 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 no guns in this boat, because no, no. I do. Actually, the reality is, I, you know, guns would. It's really hard. I'm a good shot. I used to do competitive, like pistol shooting, pistol league, and it's pretty hard to get a good shot off when you're on a rolling boat. But I do have, I got to cut open a lot of coconuts, put it that way, and so machetes are everywhere in the tropics. I mean, you're not supposed to carry them around if you're a gringo, but you can have them on your boat. You kind of need them. Seriously, how do you think you get how do you think you open up a coconut if you get a good coconut to eat? Anyway, that's my coconut opener. I would imagine it would do the trick if somebody came on board without asking the captain's permission. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, I was talking about soy cucks, right? So my theory on the reason that they quit making clothing that fit like the male form was because of bovine growth hormone is, and maybe all the birth control pee in the water system or whatever. The estrogen, but I think there's been I think the Epstein class has really made a concerted effort to emasculate the men of this world, because they don't want us breeding. They want to kill us off. They don't need us anymore. They got AI, they can have AI robots. Like you get an AI thing that cuts your grass. Pretty soon you have an AI thing that cleans your swimming pool and cleans your toilet, and like a Roomba or whatever. The So it's who knows, but yeah, I mean, I think it's been a concerted effort to effeminize males and make women more masculine and men more feminine, and I think that's really raised hell with the population growth. I mean, I think that I don't know. It just seems to me that especially in the Western countries, these soy cucks, they just, I think they're too busy playing video games and shit to make babies. But what this is saying, these two cards together for the final outcome. So this is a long digression to get to this little bit story. The final outcome here is the arrows of love finding the heart and the birth of passion. Like the ignition, the birth of passion. I mean, look at that card. It's pretty. It's a hand on a rod with a big knob on the end of it. Do the math, guys. We know what that card is symbolizing. That's passion. That's like. This is like a falling in love with somebody that you can't keep your hands off each other, and you're always kind of getting between the sheets, always. You just, every night you go to bed, you fully intend to get a good night's sleep tonight, but you just love each other so much that It happens, and that's a good way to live. That's how people are supposed to live. That's how we were supposed to live before we were all soy cocks, huh? Um, I, I kind of avoid. I do have some what do you call it, soy sauce for just a splash of it on my tuna sometimes. But yeah, so but you know maybe like a tablespoon of it a month at most. Uh, yeah, and soy it really it inhibits the production of testosterone and promotes the production of estrogen. Um, so anyway, I think that's what's behind a lot of this non-binary. What do they call it? The woke agenda. What do they call it? The EBT or whatever. that you know. Um, but I think we're going to get over that. I really do. I think what this is saying is that we're going to be okay. We're going to genuinely be okay, and we're going to be more than okay. We're going to have a happy home life. We're going to be secure, and we're going to be, rich in spirit, if not money. I mean, we're going to live in a world because this honestly the whole no, he says then gets a gun too. That wasn't a gun, that was a machete. um, it's a machete. Actually, I use it for cracking open coconuts. I love coconuts. Love fresh coconuts. And they fall off trees here, like literally. Um, so you need a machete on a boat when you're in the tropics. I don't know if they might have a problem when I go to Norway with it. I might have to throw it in the ocean or something. Um, but but they, I suppose you can buy a coconut in Norway. They just got to import it, right? Yeah, I think we're going to be okay. I think the Epstein class is going to try to keep its hooks in us, but I think enough of us are going to go tell them to go pound sand, that we don't that we don't that we're going to be okay, and that they're screwed. He, he's he's got something battery to power his dinger attachment. He's got a 10 something battery, a 16-volt battery to power his dinger attachments. It may, I have a Tohatsu 20 horse 4-stroke outboard on my dinghy, on my tender. So anyway, a bunch of you are still watching. You've stuck around a long time for me to ramble about like soy cucks and stuff like that. But so give it a like, subscribe, share, and thank you for watching. I'm wind's kicking up here, and my cards are going to start flying around. And it's getting close to dinner time. My first mate was just giving me what for down here where you couldn't see her, telling me it's dinner time. Love you all, and think things are going to work out for us. Not so much for them. And the one thing I am going to show you is this is the guy I bought the boat from put this here, and it's this sign. So this is the first thing anybody that comes on board is going to see. And honestly, it's good advice. Because, I might mistake their head for a coconut. You all take care. Yeah, you got to protect yourself. We have to protect ourselves and our families and the people we love. But that's not the point of what we're doing. It's we have to take care of each other and our communities. And you know what? Every one of you is here. Every one of you listening to this, watching this. Every one of you coming here. A lot of you are coming here every day, and it's really great to see you all. And we're our community too. You know, we're part of our. We got to take care of each other. You know, you get some guys that are gonna tell me I'm old or whatever or lame. Somebody told me I was lame yesterday. Um, but you know, but they need help too. You know, those people give them those. Now there's somebody that just lashes out randomly and tries to pick fights with random people on the goddamn YouTube. That's that's a person that really needs a hug. That's a person that's had some a rough childhood. You know. So let's take care of each other. Let's love each other, and let's not fight amongst ourselves. Let's save our fight for if the Epstein class starts imposing on our personal sovereignty. Let's do what we got to do to protect ourselves. Love you all. Take care, and talk to you tomorrow.